My dear friend, let's walk together through a journey of healing, divine truth, and unshakable worth. One that will soothe your aching heart, restore your strength, and anchor you in the certainty that you are cherished by God. I want to talk about those painful moments when you realize someone never planned to stay. They were only there because they needed you. Maybe it was a friend who leaned on you during their struggles but vanished once they were back on their feet, or a partner who used your love as a crutch only to leave when they no longer needed it. Perhaps it was a colleague who relied on your skills to get ahead, then walked away without a backward glance. The sting of being used as a temporary fix, a stepping stone, cuts deep, doesn't it? It can make you feel like your heart was just a convenience, your worth tied to what you provided, tempting you to close off or question if anyone will ever stay for you. But let me tell you right now, your value is not in what you offer others. They never planned to stay because their hearts couldn't see the eternal light God placed in you, but God sees your worth, and He's calling you to shine in His purpose where you're treasured for who you are. I'm going to unpack why this happens, lean on Dr. Myles Munroe's wisdom about your God-given value, and show you how to live so vibrantly that you embrace your divine worth and step into places where your heart is valued, not just needed. Picture this for a moment. You're not the first to feel like someone used you and left. Think of Joseph, who helped the cupbearer in prison, sharing his gift of interpretation only for the cupbearer to forget him once freed. Or imagine the Samaritan woman at the well, likely used by others in her life. Yet Jesus saw her heart and stayed to offer her living water. Even Jesus himself, surrounded by crowds who needed his miracles, watched many walk away when his teachings asked for more. Dr. Myles Munroe taught that your worth isn't tied to who stays or who leaves, but to the divine purpose God wove into your being, a purpose that outshines temporary needs. When people use you and leave, it's not because you're only good for what you give. It's because their intentions were fleeting, unable to match the depth of God's plan for you. Your pain is not a dead end. It's God teaching you to guard your heart and direct it to where it's cherished, preparing you for a purpose that glorifies Him. Let's talk about why this happens, why people come into your life only to leave once their needs are met. Sometimes they never plan to stay because they're driven by self-interest, using your kindness, skills, or support as a tool to get through a moment, not valuing the person behind it. Maybe they're in a season of survival, too focused on their own struggles to see your heart. Or perhaps they lack the depth to build lasting connection, drawn to you for what you provide, not who you are. It could be that you've poured your heart into people God didn't assign to your journey, giving too much to those who were only meant to pass through. But here's the deeper truth. Sometimes God allows them to leave to show you the value of your heart, to teach you discernment, to guide you to relationships and purposes that honor your whole self, not just your utility. Dr. Munroe used to say that your purpose is like a riverbed, meant to carry life to those who stay, not to be drained by those who only pass by. That's you right now, learning to flow in God's plan, even when others walk away. I know the pain of realizing they never planned to stay is heavy. It feels like a betrayal, like your heart was just a means to an end. Maybe you're hurting, replaying every moment you gave, wondering why you weren't worth staying for, or you're angry, tired of being a pit stop, tempted to shut your heart to protect it. I felt that ache, my friend, and it's real. But let me speak to your soul. Don't let their departure steal your light. Their choice to leave doesn't define your worth. You are not a tool, not a temporary fix. You are a masterpiece crafted by God with a heart that loves deeply, a purpose that endures beyond fleeting needs. Psalm 27:10 says, "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." That's you, received by God, your heart held by Him. When they leave, it's not the end. It's God calling you to redirect your heart to where it will be met with lasting love, not temporary need. Let me share a story to make this vivid. I once knew a woman who gave everything to a friend in crisis. She listened, helped with bills, stayed up late to comfort her, believing their bond was forever. But once her friend's life stabilized, she drifted away, leaving silence. The pain was crushing. She felt used, her heart discarded. But she took it to God, pouring out her hurt, asking for truth. In prayer, she felt Him say, "Your heart is mine, and it's enough." She started guarding her energy, focusing on her purpose, and joined a community garden project where her care was valued. New friendships grew, ones that stayed through thick and thin, and her heart healed. Her old friend reached out later, but she was already shining where she was treasured. They never planned to stay, not because she was unworthy, but because God was guiding her to a purpose that fit her heart. The pain taught her to trust God's plan, echoing Dr. Munroe's words, your worth is in who God made you, not what others need. That's the power I want you to seize today. They never planned to stay because their hearts were fixed on their own needs, not the eternal purpose God placed in you, but your worth is anchored in His love, and He's leading you to where your heart is cherished for who you are. Their departure isn't your verdict, it's a sign showing you where your light doesn't belong and pointing you to where it does. Dr. Munroe taught that your value is not in serving others' temporary needs, but in fulfilling a divine assignment that endures. When you stop chasing those who leave and start walking in God's purpose, you become a force, a light that draws the right people, the right moments to you. They might feel your absence when they're in need again, maybe even regret leaving, but you'll be too busy thriving in the place God's prepared, your life a testament to His faithfulness. If you're carrying the weight of their departure, feeling like your heart was used and discarded, I need you to hear this. Release that burden. You're not defined by who walks away. You're defined by the God who stays with you, who sees your heart, who calls you His own. Don't let their exit dim your glow. Maybe you're telling yourself, I'm only good for what I give, or no one will stay for me. My friend, that's a lie. Your heart is a treasure, and God will guide it to those who stay. You are enough just as you are. God's got a place where your love will be met with love, not need, but you've got to let go of their leaving to step into it. Isaiah 49:16 says, see, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. That's God's promise. You're etched in His heart, never forgotten. Trust that He's guiding you even now, readying you to shine. So how do you move forward? First, root yourself in God's love for you. Stop measuring your worth by who stays and start seeing yourself as God's beloved. Spend time in His presence, letting verses like Zephaniah 3:17 sink in. The Lord your God is with you. He will take great delight in you. Tell yourself every day, God cherishes me. My heart is His. I'm destined for His purpose. When you're anchored in His love, their departure loses its sting, and you shine with a strength that comes from knowing you're valued. Next, guard your heart with discernment. They used you because you gave without limits, pouring into those who weren't meant to stay. Dr. Munroe taught that stewardship means protecting what God gave you, your heart, your energy, your love. Pray for wisdom to know who deserves your trust and who's only there for a season. Pull back from those who take without giving and invest in relationships that honor your whole self. It's not closing off, it's cherishing the treasure you are. Trust that God will bring people who stay for you, not just your help. When you guard your heart, you reclaim your light, and that discernment lets you shine where you're meant to. Then redirect your heart to purpose. Your love is a gift, but it's meant for God's plan, not for those who use it and leave. Ask, where does God want my heart to flow? Maybe it's a passion you've neglected, a community that needs your light, or a dream waiting to grow. Pour your energy into what aligns with God's purpose, what fills your heart as you give. Dr. Munroe said your purpose is where your gifts meet God's call. When you focus there, you build a life that's vibrant, drawing in people and opportunities that value you for you, not just what you provide. Let me speak to those of you who are scared to open your heart again, afraid that giving will only lead to more people leaving. I get it. The fear of being used again is real when you've been left behind. But listen, you can't live God's purpose by hiding your heart. Loving, serving, chasing your calling, it takes vulnerability, but it's safe in God's hands. Don't let fear keep you from the life He's calling you to. Trust that God is your protector, that He's bringing people who will cherish you, that your worth is secure in Him. John 15:13 says, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. That's your heart, loving deeply, and God will guide it to friends who stay. Your purpose is waiting, and you'll find it when you love wisely in faith. Let me share another story to make this clear. I once knew a man who gave his all to a business partner. He shared ideas, worked late, built their success, believing they were in it together. But once the business thrived, his partner left, taking the credit and leaving him behind. He felt used, his heart broken, but he took it to God, asking for healing. He started affirming his worth, focusing on a new venture, mentoring young entrepreneurs. His guidance changed lives, and a community grew that valued him for who he was. His old partner struggled without him, but he was already shining where he was treasured. They never planned to stay because God was guiding him to a purpose that fit his heart. That pain became his strength, proving Dr. Munroe's truth. Your worth is in who God made you, not what others need. So I want to ask you, what's the pain of their leaving holding you back from What dream are you afraid to chase because you think you'll be used again? What purpose are you pausing because you're waiting for someone to stay? My friend, you don't need their presence to shine. You need God's purpose. You need your faith, your courage, your trust in the one who never leaves. Their exit hurts, but it can't stop you unless you let it. Get up, guard your heart, and start walking in the destiny God's laid out for you. The world needs your light, and no one's departure can dim what God's designed. Now let's talk about living so vibrantly that their leaving becomes just a chapter in your story. Not to prove them wrong, but to honor God's purpose in you. Live for His glory, not their needs. When they leave, it's tempting to chase them, but that's a trap. Instead, use your heart to serve God's kingdom. Share your gifts, love boldly, pursue your calling with all you've got. When you live for God, your light finds the right hearts, the ones who stay for you. Dr. Munroe said, "Your purpose is God's priority, not man's convenience." Let that drive you. Live with strength, knowing God's with you. Their departure might shake you, but trust that your heart is enough, that His plan is perfect, that your purpose is secure. Step out boldly, even when it's hard. When you carry yourself with the assurance that God holds you, you glow in a way that draws the right people to you. That strength isn't just for you. It's a beacon for others who feel used, showing them they can rise too. Live with purpose. Don't let their exit derail you. Wake up each day asking, God, where do you want my heart today? How can I shine for you? Purpose keeps you steady, even when the hurt lingers. When you focus on what God's called you to do, you build a life that's alive, pulling in relationships and opportunities that cherish you. Those who left might feel their mistake, but you'll be too busy thriving to notice your life shouting God's goodness. To rise above this pain, cultivate what I call God confidence, the deep knowing that your worth comes from the one who made you, not the ones who used you. Spend time with Him. Let His word fill you. Deuteronomy 31:6 says, "Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." He's with you always. When you're rooted in that, no departure can break you. Your light becomes a magnet, drawing those who are meant to stay. Practice gratitude too. It's easy to focus on their absence, but gratitude shifts your eyes to God's presence. Thank Him for your heart, for the purpose He's unfolding, for the moments you're valued. Thank Him for the lessons, the strength, the doors He's opening. Try this. Each day, write down one way God's showing you your worth. Maybe it's a new connection, a spark of purpose, or a quiet sense of His love. Gratitude doesn't erase the hurt, but it lifts you above it, turning their leaving into a bridge to your destiny. Let me tell you one more story. I once knew a woman who gave her heart to a romantic partner. She supported his dreams, stood by him through hardships, believed in their future. But once he found success, he left, saying he didn't need her anymore. She felt discarded, her worth tied to his presence. But she took it to God, asking for healing. She guarded her heart, started a blog sharing her journey, and her words touched countless lives. Readers became a community that valued her, and new love came that cherished her for her. Her ex reached out, but she was already shining where she was treasured. They never planned to stay because God was guiding her to a purpose that fit her heart. That pain became her launch pad, proving Dr. Munroe's words, "Your worth is in who God made you to be." Guard God's purpose in you, my friend. Their leaving can feel like a loss, but every moment is God teaching you to protect your light. He's guiding your heart, setting the stage for your purpose. Trust that He's not done. Your job is to keep loving, keep serving, keep shining, even in the hard moments, and celebrate your heart. Don't let their exit make you hide it. Your kindness, your strength, your love, they're all part of the light God gave you. Share it wisely, knowing it's enough. You are not defined by those who never plan to stay. You are defined by the God who stays forever, who loves you, who calls you to a purpose that's yours alone. You are radiant, irreplaceable, a vessel of divine destiny. Their leaving is just a lesson, a sign, a nudge to shine wiser. Root yourself in God's love. Guard your heart with discernment. Redirect your light to purpose. Live for His glory with strength and purpose. Lean into His confidence. Stay grateful. Trust His guidance. Celebrate who you are. Do this, and you'll live a life so vibrant that their departure fades into the brilliance of your purpose, glorifying God and inspiring others to trust Him too. Go out there, my friend. Shine like you were made to. Chase your purpose with every ounce of faith you've got. Let their leaving be the spark that lights your greatest chapter. The world's waiting for your heart, and no one's absence can stop God's plan. You've got this, and I'm cheering you every step of the way.